Go ahead, Black Vanguard.
Now, I'm gonna address this situation. I'm gonna address a few things. What Dr. Randy Short is saying about the Boule class is actually true, which is the D9s, the Freemasons, the Eastern Stars, the Jack and Jills, the Brotherhood Crusade, the NAACP, the Urban League. They ain't one of the biggest enemies of the Black grassroots because for a long time they've been bringing all these Tethers, all these immigrants over here to undermine our population, like out here in California. California is a super Democratic majority state, and look how they treated the foundational Black American state here in California. You have a Assembly member, Isaac Bryan, and a lot of people's question is Leans think he's not a foundational Black American. We got Akila Weber, which was trying to give our genealogy bill to the California Department of Justice. So Gavin Newsom have more control over that, which was SB 437. It was a bill, no, it was SB 518. It was a bill when it was with Akila Weber, which is Boule. She's part of D9 Boule class. She was trying to give our genealogy records and our information to the California Department of Justice so Gavin Newsom can have control of that. Then you look at Mia Bonton. She's a Puerto Rican woman in the Bay Area, like in the Oakland, Berkeley area. Her husband is Ron Bonton, which is the Attorney General of California. So they was trying to actually to get our genealogy records, basically, so when we start applying for reparations, they can criminalize us and get our information and charge us for getting our reparations. So we fought against that. So they didn't put in the SB 518 bill. They ended up putting it in the California Civil Rights Department instead of the Department of Justice. That was a small victory because we raised hell. We actually was organized against a lot of these California Let's That Black Culture members out the way, which we're doing. We still getting Isaac Bryan and all these other people out the way because they're very problematic. But I've been trying to tell them, these Democrat Boule people, y'all too busy fighting for illegal immigration, though. But when we need y'all to fight for issues, especially regarding reparations, other issues we got going on in our community, these same Boule people know to be found, like Karen Bass. I asked Karen Bass about reparations on Juneteenth in Lamar Park, which is one of the last Black strongholds we got left in Los Angeles. And I asked her what you feel about reparations. She completely ignored my question, though. But in MacArthur Park, she immediately jumped up and start supporting these illegal immigration. For your understanding is that a federal judge in the Biden administration put a federal pause on the ICE raids in Southern California, and Karen Bass was one of the lead people that was spearheading the movement. These Democratic Boule politicians like Jasmine Crockers, like Brandon Johnson out of Chicago, they're problematic though, because when it comes to addressing our issues, these people know to be found. Like Karen Bass was giving these the illegals debit cards in Los Angeles. So these Black Democrat politicians, they're a huge problem. But back to the Tether boycott, I'm glad it kind of got me boycotted. Yeah, you might have some cool and writers on an individual level, but majority of them, they highly disrespectful though. That they have all different types of derogatory slur towards foundational Black Americans. That cause cicadas, jareers, bees, and all the other 9-yard dozen. And also Mia Bonton, she's one of the main people that was leading the charge and try to get our genealogy bill to California Department of Justice. Then they got another bill called SB 437. It's a bill going on. We're trying to divert $6 out of $12 million that's supposed to meant for our genealogy reparations. They try to get $6 to $12 million to the Cal States, the CSUs. So we put a stop to that as well. So, and we named all the organizations. The head of the NAACP, and shout out to you, Black Alpha Network, was supposed to NAACP because you had the head of the NAACP out of California and Hawaii. We did to his background. He's a whole Panamanian from Panama. He's a whole Afro-Latino. He's not even a foundational Black American. We actually exposed him, so he kind of backed up off of it. Then you got a lot of these so-called minority and people color groups. They're trying to get on the whole lot of these Latino and Japanese groups. They're trying to get a hold of the $6 to $12 million reparations thing that's what meant for our community. So we actually putting pressure on the organization to draw the support. Are we going in a professional, in a political way? But because you got to redirect that because they real quickly label us as Black fatigue and all that type of stuff, which is another joke that these white folks like, these male people like doing. So yeah, we in a huge fight because I remember 6 years ago, the Tethers was one of the main ones saying that I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican, I'm not Black, I'm Haitian, I'm not Black, I'm Dominican, Jamaica. All of a sudden, we've been delineating for the last 6 years. All of a sudden, they started to say that we're Black too. They started claiming Africa. And for y'all understand that is that out there in Tanzania, because I got people out there in Tanzania right now. I know some of the revolutionaries that actually fought and the Tanzanian revolution, though, like Zafara, they actually told me, is I got the numbers right now, they actually told me how the Tanzanian government, for y'all understand that, is that a few days ago, the Tanzanian government has officially banned all small foreign businesses in the state of Tanzania. That means they're kicking all foreigners, including the Foundation of Black Americans, out of Tanzania right now to speak. So Pan-Africanism is basically dead. It's not non-existent. We've been the only ones carrying and burdening the Pan-Africanism for the last 100 years. I'm glad we started. See, it's nothing but a scam. Same thing with that Euro return of Ghana. It was nothing but a scam too. You got the Ghanaians are kicking the Nigerians out of Ghana right now. And you got a lot of our Foundation of Black Americans out there in Ghana. And a lot of people don't understand that it was a story that happened a few years ago, how you have the Black Panther sister, a well-known activist out of Detroit. I forgot the elder sister's name, how she went out there to Ghana, how she got on the live in Ghana for purchasing land. So it's other kind of stories why people went to these African Caribbean countries that have been getting on the live in these African Caribbean countries. So this Pan-Africanism notion is actually dead. Now, you had this head person of the, I think some kind of African hairdresser shop in DMV area, I think it was in Maryland, actually trying to apologize, but you never seen that African woman actually supporting Black American businesses though. See, we the only ones that have been supported. We basically our customer base. Same thing about the Asians. They got as well too, because they've been, especially the Koreans and the Chinese with the Latasha Harless situation. So all these foreigners got to leave our community and stuff like that, because we need to circulate the money within our community, because these foreigners, these other immigrant groups, they don't care nothing about our people. Even some of these melanated Tether groups don't care nothing about our people. That's why I'm glad we delineating. I'm gonna pass the mic to somebody else though, because I got a lot of stories I could tell y'all though.
Appreciate that, brother. All that right there, 110%. Absolutely, brother. Let me say this to the family while we in here. You got Tether getting and Donald Trump out here with them Tether tariffs. And if y'all notice that them damn tariffs got these people real shook. So when you add delineation at the same exact time that you have deportation, that got everybody petrified. It's a new game. It's a new game, and everybody got to understand that, all right?
Also, what they did was I was put it in the Jumbotron, how you had Haitians out there in Florida, I believe in Florida, New York. They formed their own coalition to stop their people from losing their temporary protected status next month in September. See, they have their own organization that's specific for their own ethnic group. But when we said we want to have our own specific things for our ethnic group, all of a sudden we're being xenophobic and divisive and all that type of stuff. But they got their own organization. They got the Haitian Bridge Alliance, the Haitian American Caucus. You got Haitians got their own AKAs, their own sororities, fraternities now. They got their own churches. But when they delineate, it's not a problem. But when we delineate, it's a problem. I'm glad we checking that. We should have been doing that a long time ago.
Damn right, damn right. And let me tell this to the whole family in here. If you a certified foundational Black American, enjoy being divisive. Because let me tell you what divisive really just means. Divisive just means, can y'all please stop delineating, because it's effing up these tether situation. That's what it is. So you need to get called divisive about 15 times a day. If not, you ain't doing your foundational Black American duty. Because like my brother just said, these people have all types of things that are exclusive and specific to them. But yet they always got a problem when we do things exclusive and specific to us. Well, they going to have a problem then. Trust me, y'all, tethers are on their way out. Look at all of these different elements. Look at all these different factors that are making tethers sweat right now. And it's a good thing. Because like we said, when you add delineation with deportation, that puts them in a very, very bad scenario. It ain't like it was a year ago. I want everybody to remember, okay? Go back to 2020 all the way to about November last year. They thought that they had it, didn't they? They thought that they ashy-ass fingers was just going to grab on to being a Black American. They really thought that they was going to destiny swap with us. And now the tides have turned. Look at the tether situation a year ago and look at tethers now. And I literally mean now, like, look at them. Look in their faces. They don't seem too confident no more. They ain't got that same smug energy. See, it went from work hard and nigga and all that back talk they was doing. Now they out here saying things like xenophobic, divisive, family. They only use those terms because whatever hustle and scam that they're doing ain't working. You don't call somebody xenophobic unless what you thought you had, you ain't got no more. You don't say somebody's divisive unless you're trying to unite with them so you can steal their resources. And now everybody's seeing these tethers are done. I told y'all, they ain't nothing but a joke and their inner tubes can't flow. Go ahead, brother.
And Black Alpha, I'm gonna say this. I know you got EJ on here. I'm gonna say this real quick.
Your call, Black man.
is that I'm gonna say this real quick. I remember how you had a lot of these terrorists disrespecting our lineage and saying like that. You had a Jamaican lieutenant governor, Western Sears out of Virginia, telling them foundational Black Americans to forget about slavery, but telling those people not to forget about the Holocaust. Same thing you have the Sheila Jackson Lee, that CLBC member, another Jamaican immigrant woman out of Houston, Texas, had a whole HR 40 bill on the finesse. And then you had this, I forgot her name, Yvette Clark or something like that, that Jamaican person that's the head of the Credential Black Caucus in Harlem, how she said that she need more immigrants to her district so she can stay in power and forget about the foundation of Black Americans in Harlem and New York City. That's actually with disturb respect. Same thing got to Brian Donalds when he was on Breakfast Club somewhere. How you say he don't believe in reparations because his family won't get it. His family comes from Jamaica. And you had that Nigerian person that was running for the governor of I think was it governor of Michigan, that said if you come to governor of Michigan, he gonna get rid of Black History Month. These are the Tethers that come over here that disrespect our lineage. We would say, for example, we would never go to none of these African and Caribbean countries and declare a war and trying to rewrite history. You know what they would do to us if we go to their countries as a foreigner and declare war and trying to rewrite history and undermine their own country? They'll be real quick to run on somebody. We might not make out that country alive if you go to their homelands doing that. So we getting it straight and right. We should have been doing this a long time ago, but I'm glad we're doing that right now because Dr. Clark Anderson saying that we should have been delineating a long time ago. So I'm glad we followed the steps of the great Dr. Clark Anderson. And Dr. John Clark actually said we have no allies. And our people started realizing that all we have is each other, and that's all we need. We've been more qualified since the 1965 Civil Rights Movement. And I don't agree with that term African American because the term African American got created by Jesse Jackson in the 1980s. And Jesse Jackson had a part in Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination because the MLK files have been released. So that's why they don't want the MLK files to be released because of the truth that they don't want to get let out, though, because you already know what Jesse Jackson about the Rainbow Coalition, what he stands for, but I'm going to allow Brother EJ to speak because I know he's been raising his hand for a while.
Yes, indeed. Before my brother EJ go, let me make this clear to the whole family, okay? I got to make this extra clear. We're not trying to convince these people that we ain't African. We telling them. Bottom line, the energy has changed, okay, everybody? It's not about the Tethers. It ain't never been about the Tethers. It's about FBA because it's our goddamn country. Remember, y'all, they want to be here next to us. We don't give a damn about them. And like my brother Vanguard just said, they would never even allow us to go to any of their homelands and try to entwine ourselves into their politics or their traditions. They wouldn't allow us, and we don't want to any goddamn way. So it works in our favor, okay? Time's up for the Tethers. As our good Dr. Randy Short just put it, Tethergeddon is real. And you want to talk about boycotts in which went on? Good. You want to talk about where the TPS, Tether Protective Services, are cut off? You want to go all the way to October 1st with the visas. Fam, they ain't in a good situation. Like I was saying, go back and look at a year ago when they was talking all that Tether talk. That Tether talk done dried up. FBA's winning. And this ain't a matter of us saying it. This is a matter of fact. And if you look at these people's energy, you can see if you ever want to know who's on the winner side in the winner circle, observe their energy. And if you ever want to look at somebody who's a loser, observe their energy. Right now, Tethers are defeated. Okay, they can't even troll good no more. I remember when you had the decent trolls. Now these trolls are in here talking, they babbling, they ranting, we breaking them down, we're embarrassing them, we're exposing them, we sending them back the same way Tom sent them home and is about to send them back home. So everywhere you turn, fam, the asses is going in the opposite direction of America. So think about it. The asses tried to run to the United States of America. Now the asses is going to have to run all the way back home. And FBA is going to be right here and ain't going no damn where. My good brother EJ, I see you, Georgia. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man, these tenants about to do the Hotel Rwanda challenge. They're gonna be scattered everywhere, but this just goes to tell you that they always try to declare war. They always try to declare war and bring smoke to the wrong people, but they need to declare war with some soap and water so they can wash their hands. And this just goes to show you that Tethergeddon has been upon us for the longest. Ever since I've been on these Twitter space streets, man, Tethergeddon has always been here. It's always been building momentum and always just been waiting for the explosives to go off. You know, it's very powerful once the rootwork deodorant and the pepper spray get the, blowing up in the environment and in everybody's face. Yeah, these people thought that we were just gonna sit back and relax and just not take them real seriously. But these tethers are seriously hurt right about now. They still talking about the election. They still talking about the numerous amounts of L's that they have been taking for the past couple of months. And this just goes to show you that with this whole boycott situation going on, we should have did this decades ago when it comes to our people. I'd rather be late than be sorry, because if we kept letting these people just say whatever they wanted to, no telling what we would have been right about now. If we would have just been letting the wrong people in these Twitter space streets babble and talk about our lineage, knowing damn well a lot of these folks are undercover tethers, we'll be all over the place. We would have had an open floodgate of niggas don't watch under their arms and just, leave their kids back in their village and stuff with flies on their foreheads and stuff. But this just goes to show you that, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And I don't really try to be technical or get historic with some of these people, because half of the time they don't even know the history of their own countries, because most of the time these folks created your countries and still colonizing y'all and dominating y'all to this very day. So I don't really try to get into the history of some of these tethers, because half of the time, at a large percentage, a lot of these people don't know nothing about their history, but they want to call Black Americans nationalist people. They want to say that we don't belong to the United States of America. Well, for a person who loves their country and waves their flags in their profile pictures, you're always in tune with what Black Americans are doing and what Black Americans are saying. I don't see a lot of you in y'all countries fighting for your people, let alone trying to go back and help your, kids that y'all left. You ain't trying to go back there and help Miss Fufu or Mr. Tunde in the gold mines. So, you leaving your kids astray. And it's just a sad thing for us to keep having to donate our loose change, let alone the pennies in my piggy bank, to the Sally Struthers Bushmeat and Rice Foundation. So I'm gonna just need you tethers to get y'all stuff together, man. Delineation is the most important thing that Black Americans need to do, let alone fight for our reparations. And let's just keep it real, man. Ain't nobody know nothing about delineation more than the African. The African is the king of delineation. They are the king of being divisive. They are the kings and queens of bushmeat smuggling and crunchy divestment wig wearing. So when it comes to these tethers, and I ain't forgot about you Caribbean comes too, because y'all gonna get these coconuts upside y'all head too. Bamboo sticks all over the place with y'all. I forgot what Dr. Schwartz said in the last space. These Barrel brothers and these Dutchy wine sisters, they have so much smoke for the Black American family, but they don't have the energy, let alone the anger for, the Chinese that are, running trains, or your grandmothers back on the island of Jamaica, or, the Haitians that are sticking their relatives with voodoo doll pins. But, they just got their priorities messed up. So the moral of the story is keep boycotting these businesses. And don't forget about the Europeans, too. They got a lot of energy when it comes to, Black Americans. But as you can see by the example of the Black American family handling their business over there in Cincinnati, you mess around and find out, we will get our Wu-Tang Clan on and take y'all on the journey through the 36 chambers. This is not Nigeria. This is not one of these coward-ass countries where a large majority of the population don't want to stand up for themselves. The ones that actually want to do something about it, they don't have enough people to actually stand up and actually want to fight back. I mean, you can lift your arms up like a spirit bomb and just tell our folks to run away just by the mustard that is under some of y'all arms. So let me go on and land my plane, man, because I do want to hear somebody else speak, though.
Brother Eric Johnson, okay, they kicked me out of one Twitter, some over here. I wanted to ask your opinion, because you have a wonderful way of explaining things. Have you noticed, remember from South Park, they used to have this starving kid called Starving Marvin?
Yep, Starving Marvin.
He's now running for mayor of Minneapolis. Starving Marvin.
Yeah, I know.
You mean that Somali Minnesota Dr. Brandon Short?
He looks
Yeah,
like...
So how you get there?
He does
How you get
like
there?
Starving Marvin. I swear to you.
So how you get there and you're on the Twitter space?
Hold up. One at a time, okay?
I'm just asking for clarity.
I'm just telling. All right, so listen, this is how it's going to go. We're going to go one at a time, and nobody interrupt Dr. Randy Short. That's just what it is, because that's a sign for immediately getting dropped, okay? Bottom line. So everybody one at a time. Go ahead, continue, Dr. Randy Short.
I was just saying, I want to hear Eric Johnson, his explanation for how Starving Marvin was a cartoon in South Park. I thought it was from another part of Africa. And then I see this dude from Harlem and said, shit, that's Starving Marvin. He's real.
And he's doing better than you.
Yeah, if you don't be quiet.
And my damn pit bull is doing better than your mama, okay? Bow down, partner. Listen.
I've already removed them, family. No worries.
That
Oh,
goofball.
Oh, I was just saying he does look like Starving Marvin, but we need to remember another group, and these are the Indians, and you need to know that the United States diplomatic mission throughout India, let them know that this stuff isn't going on. And I want to say this, all of us need to commit against, I call him, to me, a scammer swami, that this Indian dude in Ohio must lose. We need to watch out for them too. Stop staying at their hotels and shit. We need to keep our own money. When you talk to the average black person, they're broke. We need to get broke when it comes to tethers. Let me land my plane for a second.
go ahead, EJ.
Space. I'm glad you kicked them out. I ain't want to have to pull out the bamboo stick. If you want to interrupt, you can start your own space and you can just talk to yourself in the corner. You got to watch some of these folks in these spaces. They don't really have nothing better else to do, but they don't know nothing. Don't you ever come in this damn space and interrupt an OG like Dr. Randy Short. Let me get to what Dr. Randy Short was saying. Yes, the burnt upside down Dorito chip individual. I don't know this Tether's name, but he does remind me of one of the pirates off the Captain Phillips movie. So, these crooked crushed peanut sneakers, tooth having individuals, if they have enough people within a area, any musty tether can run for a political position because they know if this bro get elected, they can get all the bushmeat that they want to. They can get all the goodies that, mommy and dad can give them. So, this is why that the family, for the ones that are qualified to run for political positions, y'all need to, get amongst y'all people, which is the FBA family in the grassroots, and just, come with your credentials and, get to work. Because, a lot of these people acting like they running for president, knowing damn well they can't be even a manager at McDonald's, let alone sweep out the floors at my job. Always coming here telling us what we need to do, but don't have the credentials. And this is why Tether getting is so much needed, because you got in these spaces talking real crazy. And I doubt that a lot of these people even want some of these tethers to go away, because, a lot didn't get no code. They got to go over there to Fukushima, and, they got to go to the Motel 6 and, do the thing. But this just goes to show you that when you have people amongst us that don't want to put in the work, let alone with this boycott, you have some niggas that'll be like, man, I love them Africans. I love them niggas. They give me that bush meat with them chitlins, and they put that vinegar and that salt together. That's some good cooking right there. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Half of these is like Dr. Umar Johnson right about now. They coming back to us when they was out here talking crap about us, didn't want us to get reparations. They out here begging us for loose change. Just like these niggas that come out here in these Twitter spaces, they begging for views, they begging for followers. See, they got to come into spaces like my brother Black Afro Network. They got to come into spaces like Tyreek. These babbling Negroes that come up in these spaces, let alone throughout these conversations with all the divisive talk that some of these people have been talking. But I was telling the brother earlier that, I can't do TikTok when it comes to some of these tethers because they just swarm all over the place. And I give some of y'all credit. Y'all have better patience than me, because I'm known to block people and just swing the bamboo stick like I'm a 13-year-old girl at a quinceañera. Just candy and dandruff flakes gonna be all over the place when you're messing with some of these tethers. I just want to let the family know, let me correct myself, that tender getting is a Pondy. Make sure y'all out here supporting Black-owned businesses, and make sure that y'all have y'all pepper spray and y'all Febreze if y'all ever have to go up into one of these tether businesses to regulate one of these individuals. So, with that being said, I'm going to land my plane. And if any tethers or any, buck dancers are in the space right about now, please don't interrupt anybody, because I will pull out the flying team. So be warned.
Now, I'm going to send it to church, and church, you can go ahead and spin it around to the hands, but this is an FBA family affair. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, FBA keep winning and tethers keep swimming. And apparently they can't swim any further. Go ahead, my good brother.
All day, my good brother. I just wanted to touch on something you said real quick, because we could actually prove this. Our brother said that, well, the white man didn't really invade. Y'all was inviting him in. If y'all didn't notice, there was this guy from the Congo that came out and put out a videos calling FBA a bunch of cowards because we're saying that we don't want the tethers here taking our resources and they're not giving nothing back to the community while disrespecting us and all this other stuff. So he started calling us cowards because of the fact that Donald Trump actually secured a resource mineral deal with the DR Congo. But what he doesn't mention is the fact, and I'm going to put this in the purple pill right now as I'm speaking. What he don't mention is the fact that they went running to him. They came to America begging Americans to help them with Rwanda. They offered an exclusive mineral deal. And so you're mad at us for something that you could not do your damn self. You couldn't fight your battles. You're not there fighting your battles. You're over here. You're over here, and you're mad at the people over here because our government decided to take your government up on their offer to, have an exclusive mineral deal and garner peace. You folks love, and I'm talking directly to the Tethers and the people overseas. This is to every African country, because I want you guys to understand something. I don't hate any African. I'm not tolerating no disrespect from no African, though. And we're going to keep this 100. You guys have the power and the resources under your feet to fight against the oppressor. You say the American government is the oppressor. You say the French government is the oppressor. You say the German government is the oppressor. But they only can oppress you because of the fact that you're giving up all your resources from up under your feet. They only can oppress you because instead of standing there and fighting for your country, you're fleeing to the country that you say colonized you. That doesn't work anywhere around the globe. So you cannot come to us and disrespect us because you have not kicked out all of the corrupt people in your goddamn government, because you have not allowed, even if you say the CIA come into our countries and they convince us to do it, nobody told you to be convinced by the CIA. You chose to be convinced. You chose to listen to a group of people that's not even from your country so that you can be the tool to remove someone in your country that may do well for you. See, the one thing that I love about our brother Gaddafi, his people loved him so much to where they had to go in and assassinate him and drop the bombs on Gaddafi. He did so much for his people that his people did not care what CIA agent came in and tried to sow some type of division between them, because they knew what benefited them. And then you hear people like Hillary Clinton say, we killed Gaddafi. That was only in that situation because of the fact that there was nobody really protecting Gaddafi. No matter how much his people loved him, there wasn't enough people protecting him. So to all my African family and friends who wants to be family and friends, you guys need to deal with your problems at home without calling in other people to deal with it for you. That's how you keep your minerals. That's how you keep your resources. That's how you be able to build your own goddamn airport. So as my brother Black Alpha just elegantly put it, you guys will be able to land a plane or two. And to the people in Ethiopia who we went over there and taught how to fly a plane, you should have no reason at all. Like I said, family, I just wanted to just put the sugar on top of that Sunday that our brother Black Alpha just dropped. That's a bit of knowledge that a lot of people do not understand. These people are inviting in their colonizer and then get mad when they get colonized.
Bro,
let's go to our sister. Go ahead, brother.
Go to Mary. I swear I wanted to get to the hands, family, and the way you was cooking, family, I was like, I got to get in on this little extra. Yes. That's what happens when you're real certified, man. People just want to continue to go with it. Shout out to my brother Church. Y'all follow my brother Church, by the way. And y'all make sure y'all follow him on YouTube. Checkmate. Yes, my brother, you just made a great point about how these people are out here and they dealing with them. I want everybody to truly examine the relationship between Africans and Europeans. Okay. See, this is what people didn't do back in the old days. They didn't really examine these folks' relationship. When you look at their relationship, it's no different than it is now. It's always been brown nosing the Europeaner every time they seen them or encountered them. Okay. Let's make this clear. We know that they sold slaves to the Europeaner, right? We all understand that. But one thing that has not been talked about and examined enough is that when they sold the slaves to the Europeaner family, that was hundreds of years before the scramble of Africa. So when they tell you that the scramble of Africa was something of the Europeans invading them. Well, how they invade you when you had already had hundreds of years of making deals with them? Hell, you sold your mama to him. So you sold your mama to somebody 300 years ago, and they ended up coming back and taking over your entire continent, and you want to play the game like you ain't see it coming? Or were you a willing participant in everything that they ever done to you? The same exact way you're a willing participant in being a puppet and a minion for supremacy in the year 2025. You've always been up underneath them. I always say this, one of my mottos, and I want everybody to remember this. The African wants to be around the white Europeaner any way he can because he loves them. That is his affection. That is his fetish. He is obsessed and he desires being around the Europeaner. How do you know this? Is because the white man is either going to be the colonizer in Africa, or the African is going to be the immigrant in America, or France, or Italy, or Germany. It seems like everywhere I turn around, you are around the white man. And when you're around him, you're underneath his armpits. So either you invite him into your house, or you want to break into his house. Sounds like you just want to be next to him. That's what it sounds like. And when you really examine it and call it for what it is, then you understand these things. See, what they don't like, fam, is that in this generation, we breaking it down and we're analyzing and we're observing and we're really seeing what it was. See, they used to talk about PanAfricanism in the day and they'd be real quiet. And that's all they said. PanAfricanism, PanAfricanism. But they didn't really do the details of it, because had you knew the details of it and had you really studied it, opposed to this very vague statement like we're all black and we all need to go back to Africa. See, that's what Pan-Africanism was in the 1970s and the 80s. It was no more than just, hey, go back to Africa. Okay, well, what about y'all relationship? What about why y'all don't get along? What about how you sold your mama in the 1400s and then got colonized by the same person that you sold your mama to in the 1800s? Remember this, y'all. When we came out of slavery in 1860s, when we freed ourselves, they were getting colonized by the Europeaner in the 1860s, meaning the Civil War occurred the same exact time as the Berlin conferences. How many of y'all knew that? And if you know that, then I want you to understand how many other people really knew that. So it shows you they've always been underneath the dominant society, and they'll give you all the excuses, all the alibis, all the justifications. Bullshit. I'm going to give you the truth. You always want to be next to Karen, Chad, Brad, or Kim. And one of the reasons why they don't like foundational Black Americans is because they're upset that we have proximity to the dominant society and we don't give a damn. They're upset that we live next to the dominant society and we don't invite them to our cookouts, to our gatherings. Do you know how much that makes an African upset? Basically, if you've seen somebody with a Lamborghini or a Ferrari in their driveway and they never drove it, or somebody who had $1 million in their bank account and they never spent it, that's how Africans view us living next to white people. They view it as, how can you have that Ferrari, white people? How can you have that Lamborghini, white people? How can you have that $1 billion in the bank, white people, and you don't want nothing to do with it? They don't like the fact that foundational Black Americans don't want anything to do with people, because they feel that if they were here, they would have everything to do with white people. That's why as soon as they step off the plane, the first thing they want to do is go find them a white person to date. It's all about proximity, family. It's not about finding a better home or running away from persecution. It's about running next to Brad. That's what it really is. Damn persecution. You want to be next to Karen. You want to be next to Becky. This is why Nigerians are on the internet right now and they're trying to scam 350-pound women named Beth from Massachusetts. So even in the technology world, you want to be next to white folks. God damn. In your village, you want to be next to them. In your homeland, you want to be next to them. Your continent, over here on my continent, and even on the internet, you want to be next to white people. You need to get your obsession in check. They need to go see a tether therapist. They need to sit on that couch and tell the world why they're so obsessed. And once you truly understand that, then you will truly understand why we ain't the same, and why we ain't African, and why they ain't like us. And now we can move forward. And that's exactly what we've done in this generation. We move forward now because we have clinically broke down the way these people feel about the dominant society. And remember this, y'all. They view our resistance to supremacy as a crime because they love white supremacy. Anybody who loves white supremacy, they hate foundational Black Americans because we resist white supremacy. So whenever we had the civil rights era, whenever we stood on business, the reparations era, Reconstruction, you name all the eras that we've had where we were resisting supremacy. Anytime you see that, we see that as empowerment. They see that as a crime, because the one thing that Africans hate, as well as Haitians and Jamaicans and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and pretty much everybody on the earth, one thing they hate is the fact that foundational Black Americans stand up against the people that they love so much. That is Brad, that is Chad, that is Karen, that is Ken, that is Jimbo, that's Billy Bob, and that's Jethro, because they would want to be a human shield for them. And foundational Black Americans, we like Damon Wayans, homie, don't play that. So there's the difference between us. There's a difference between the whole planet Earth. And there's a difference why foundational Black Americans are number one. And it's all about this lineage. And speaking of this lineage, I got to send it to the east side to my sister Miriam, because I know you're about to cook, my sister. And then we will spin the hands and let everybody chop it up. But FBA all day. And when you certified all the time. Word to the wise from the number one activist, Black Alpha. Go ahead, my sister.
Number one activist, you better believe it. Shout out to you. 3-time general salute. Love you, brother. Love our beautiful sister. Love you, queen. And shout out to brother Eastsiders, brother Eric Johnson. You know, this family coming home, and we could do roll call all day, starting from the east to the west to the north to the south. We know how we get it in. It's FBA all day. It's never about region. It's about lineage. And our delineation is sacred, and it's not something that should be done in 5 and 10 years. It should be a staple and part of our life, because you must stay delineated, you must overstand. And it doesn't mean because you're delineating doesn't mean that you don't do business and conduct yourself otherwise when you're socializing with others if they have something that we want to gain. For exchange, no robbery, as they say. But no, delineation is a must and something that should be kept, because it keeps the lineage pure and it keeps it protected. So having answered that, so no limitation to that. That just be part of who we are. That becomes our identity. Is something that we do in our culture to protect our culture. Because why? It is an unspoken word in all cultures that is there. Period. It's something that protects. Like I stated before, but reaching back on something that both Sister Nikki and Dr. Brother Short was talking about, we're having a quiet also invasion too. People don't understand the equation, and that these people have over like 64,000 different restaurants that they don't even advertise, that are all over this country, mainly in our areas and our communities, and how shrewd these people are. They hire little to none of our lineage, only their own, and they are really very aggressive in this real estate thing that's going on, that they're buying up the properties and buying land in the properties, and when they acquire the properties, they're raising the rent so outrageously that they're pushing people out of their homes. A form of Costafoism, if you will. And then we've had quite a few different attacks about these people being on our soil. I mean, my word, the model society quietly sitting there and is one of our biggest open surprises, I would say, that we need to keep an eye on, as well as large populations and pockets of these Europeans that they shipped over here. We can never forget that. And not only do we want the Tethers of color to be deported, we have to demand that, we want it to keep at the pace it's going, especially how it's going, but we also don't want them to forget, we want that all around the board, because that does protect us. This is why other countries do not have these open border policies and these, if you will, the jargon written in so that they could be invaded, because that's what it is. It's a type of invasion. These people are here to consume and engulf not only your resources, your identities, like you said, replacements, and things of that nature, and to when it be enough of them that could overthrow your country. That is the dangers of unchecked, illegal, and legal immigration. That's why it should be very strict and enforced. And then also working on reaching within the enemies within. It definitely starts on the front line in your own lineage. When you are fighting the open enemy, you must get all the turncoats, agents, ops, sympathizers. They are the first to go, because other than that, it'll keep eroding on itself. You'll keep being penetrated. You'll keep being destroyed from within. And you have to start at your own home front and work your way outward. Anyone who overstands the art of war, anyone who overstands just lost the principle of self-preservation and protection and survival, should know what that entails. We're not children. We're thinking people. Maybe not all of us are so critically thinkers, but we are thinking people. We are adults. We make decisions. We can follow along. Many of us are highly intelligent. We read and do things and research. Maybe not enough of us, but certainly enough of us do in this Black grassroots movement. So we do whatever we need to do that is called upon us to do, and we always hold the line, and we always toe the line, and we always push forward what we need to do when it's lineage based for our own people. FBA strong all day, every day, 24 hours a day. Love, don't stop. G checking from the east to the west to the north to the south, because that's what we do. And love and peace to the room. Peace, family.
Shout out to my sister Miriam. I appreciate you, hundredfold. Like I said, there is nobody doing it like our sisters. Well, if I didn't say it, Alpha said it. And if Alpha didn't say it, then, Randy Short said it. And we all didn't said it, So much love to our sisters. Much love to our queens, because they deserve each and every bit of it, from Nikki to God, to our sister Miriam, our sister Brooke, all of y'all putting in your work. You have my love. You have my admiration, because you deserve it. And that's on life. Let's get over to Cash G.
Hey, yo, peace to the room. What's good, Dr. Short? What's good, Black Alpha? Both of y'all I met in person at Tariq's reparations rally in D.C., the free one, the second one. But that is what it is. I wanted to say to the title and to the conversation we're having, and obviously to be clear, I'm Black American on both sides of my family, just for context of the conversation, and I'm not African. In my research, it looks like the Japanese who were interned during World War II were interned not just because Japan attacked America, but also because folks wanted to confiscate Japanese farmland as well as housing in general. I only bring that up because I've heard of the model minority myth. It was actually weaponized against Japanese Americans who were interned, because to hide the economic deprivation that had happened to those who were interned, white folks purposely imported Japanese people of a higher education and a higher wealth status to America. It convoluted the numbers, and it hid the economic depravity that had been levied against those who were interned. I bring that up in this conversation because I believe that the same thing is happening to us, not just at the lowest level of the labor market, but also at the higher level when we're talking about H-1Bs. And someone mentioned earlier, talking about remittances and about the education system. I mean, Mom Donnie, a lot of people, the Indian dude who wrote the book about claiming to be Black and taking affirmative action. And again, remittances being one of the biggest numbers we can talk about. Back to the title and to the topic. Ronald Reagan, the Republican president Ronald Reagan, is who paid those cash payouts. That's not lost on me that we have a Republican-controlled, let's just say government right now. And I think it's something we should keep in mind for those who think that reparations can't be a reality in modern day, because I do believe it's a possibility. In fact, I've heard that Trump is the only president we've had in American history who's not a descendant of a slaveholding family. And that includes Obama, because on his white side, they had slaveholders in his ancestry. Maybe that's important for the conversation of divide and conquer, or understanding what folks' major culture is a lack of accountability. But they'll be willing to turn on each other and hold the Democrats accountable for their role in trying to maintain slavery, and the Republicans, quote unquote, being the ones that sought to eradicate it. I wanted to mention the compilation that I pinned up above of multiple different melanated-looking immigrants who've been brought to this country to speak against our reparations, in the same conversation as those Japanese who were brought to America. But I can't really name no Japanese that spoke against reparations, but I got a whole compilation up above. That's an issue.
My brother,
So thank you guys.
can I help you?
Yes, sir, and then I have 3 more notes.
Well, let me just say this. Many Japanese got their property back after World War II because blacks interceded and took the property of the Japanese and held it until they were released. So to this day, at least among the older, there's a lot of respect for blacks in Southern California because they were the only people that didn't steal the Japanese people's property, which is something that no one talks about. Everybody else, except for the Black American community. And then number 2, Japanese learned about getting reparations from the Black Studies programs at San Francisco State University in Berkeley. Our people taught them how to get it, but will not teach our own how to fight for it. This is the kind of stuff that the Boule and other people and Scam Africanists and others do, is give stuff to other people, but won't implement and practice it amongst us. That's why the Japanese know how they got their reparations. It wasn't just that the Japanese government was at its peak when that was done, but they learned the strategies and were educated by black people. Everybody learns from us but us. And like I've been saying, a lot of black folk, by the way, I have to say this, a black alpha. Every time he asks me something, I always give him a document. I never ever want him to believe anything that I say. Ask him. I never say believe in me. Believe in God. Scrutinize and vet me. This is the opposite of what our people used to be. It used to be 150, 160 years ago, because blacks were locked out of a lot of stuff. A black person that could read, write, speak, and had character, it counted. Then that all changed. So whoever has paper, whether they sold dope, whether they sell whatever, that person who has the most has value and character. They can be the most ignorant person. They can't read or write, but they've got money, etc. We and the Boule and these other people have promoted it as a way to rule people.
And just to clarify, I was saying that the compilation up above is of melanated immigrants speaking against Black American reparations. I'm sure that there were Japanese who were brought into America to speak against the deprivation against Japanese. I just can't really name that off the top of my head because I haven't researched it enough. But the other point is I pinned up above, in New York City, they're talking about extending the budget federally for the English as a second language program. And these are melanated migrants who are arguing that their unique dialects that are spoken at home aren't taught at school. It has made me ask the question, and really it speaks to Tether Getting, or really just us understanding and having, a Black American Renaissance in delineation, that these people don't speak English at home. That's why they're dragging our literacy rates down, because they're checking the box Black / African American. The last point I just want to make is this. This is how I rip off the Band-Aid of Pan-Africanism and really understand and stand on 10 toes. Mansa Musa was the richest man of all history, and he was rich off of slavery. I pass, Mike. Thank you.
He was rich off of gold, too.
Yeah, I was going to say that I know the story of Mansa Musa, and the fact that Mansa Musa was rich, it was because of the fact that his uncle, Abu Bakari, he sailed over and did a pilgrimage over here to America, and he loved the native women so much in America that he gave away his throne to Mansa Musa. And because he gave away his throne, he gave away his gold depositories as well. So Mansa Musa inherited most of the gold that he had. Now, I don't know, I can't tell you definitively if he was included in the slave trade or if he had slaves or anything like that.
He was all.
He was
Look,
okay.
those. I'm just going to be honest. We need to be real. This is something else because there's another dimension of Pan-Africanism that we don't deal with, and that is the Islamic Pan-Africanism. Muhammad Ali Dusi, which look him up. Dusi spelled D-U-S-E. Muhammad Ali Dusi. So there's a Pan-Africanism that is Islamic. However, it does not deal with race, and it doesn't really deal with slavery. And there's a whole lot of racism in the Islamic world. I'm sorry, most black people I meet that are Muslims comes down to confronting racism in Islam. You do not see the same in blacks who are Muslim. In fact, if I had to compare, it's remind me usually of Tethers. You know, Spanish, even black Spanish speakers kiss lighter skinned Spanish speaking people's ass. They would rather be with them and be third class and associate with black Americans. When I see a lot of black folks convert to Islam, they don't even like African Muslims that are dark skinned. They run after the Arabs. And it's a big whitening process. So there's a contradiction right there. And so there's this Pan-Africanism where for Algeria and Tunisia and Egypt and Mauritania and Morocco, where they don't necessarily like black people at all, right? And yet everyone's talking about this pan. So inside of Islamicized Pan-Africanism is an anti-black racist stream that comes out of the Arab world. And you have slavery right now going on in Mauritania. And by the way, Obama welcomed the head of the most proud state that keeps blacks enslaved, Mauritania, but wouldn't let the president of Nigeria come to his African gathering in 2014. You had, and I want to just say this, exaggerated for whatever reason, this Islamic decency around race. It is not true. It's never been true. And I mean, they're worse than the black TD Jakes that are not honest about the racism in Egypt, in Syria, in Jordan, in Saudi Arabia. So what the people are dark skinned, they're not the ones that get the stuff. In Yemen, that you've got it all over. You have a degree, you have it in Iran. When Malcolm X was alive, he was alive when the blacks who were Muslims rose up and killed the Muslims right there in Zanzibar. Malcolm X went to Mecca 2 years after Saudi Arabia ended black slavery. Anybody born before 1962 was alive when Saudi Arabia had black slavery. And to this day, Saudis and others treat, in particular, black people as slaves more harshly than any people that come into Saudi Arabia. And as recently as within the last few years, the Saudis were massacring Ethiopians trying to get away from Yemen, where it was being, and they were just murdering the people because they were black. There was no outcry, nothing. You'll never hear anything, even the mass going on right now in Sudan, over color. No outcry from the Arab world. You'll hear about the Palestinians, but you won't hear about people in Sudan over skin color. So when people start talking about this Pan-Africanism, that Islamic thing, basically part of how you make that work is to pretend that there's universal brotherhood in Islam, which does not exist when you're black. They'll put up a mosque, but they invest their money in Europe. They invest their money in America. They don't really invest in Africa. No, they don't.
And Dr. Short, in the story of Islam, there's the disciple Bilal. He was a African slave that sang the call to prayer that all Muslims use to come to the mosque today. So look at the hypocrisy.
Yeah, no.
And Mansa Musa took El Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, across the Sahara Desert with a train of people carrying as much gold as they could carry, which were all enslaved. And he freed one every Friday at a mosque, just one at a time.
Let me say this. If Bilal really mattered, how come Bilal isn't somewhere more popular as the first name in the Islamic world? Bilal is rarely the first name. Muhammad, yes. Bilal, no. It's almost, I don't even meet people named Bilal typically that are Muslim. And there's something else. It's in the Islamic tradition that Muhammad wanted Bilal to replace him, and it said Bilal refused to be Muhammad's replacement because the people wouldn't want him because he was black. That's scary, which means the first person to join the Islamic religion under Muhammad wasn't good enough to lead because of his skin color. And they'll record that. There's a whole lot of racism. Awful. It's mean. It goes on and on and on. I know this stuff well, but there's just plenty. If you look at how blacks are treated in Morocco, treated in Tunisia, treated in all of those places, how they would castrate all the black men, they barely survived. Proof of how brutal is that there's really no evidence, not a lot of evidence of an African presence in the Middle East. As fucked up as supremacy and this bogus ass that they were peddling, there's some trace that there were people from Africa brought here, which means as brutal as this thing is, there's something that you can find. Over there, they completely wiped it out, and most of those slaves were women and young boys that were castrated, and 90% of them died. So it's a culture that's about castrating black men. And this shit went on it's still going on, but it went on for way longer than the European thing, and no one ever talks about it. And to this day, there are people who are Islamic, and some of them are black Africans that are still practicing slavery of people based on skin color. And Nigeria and Mali, these Tuaregs, oh yes, they do. And you know what? Where's the abolitionist movement? Because everyone says, well, Muhammad said it's an honor to free a slave. Then damn it, why'd you have 24? Be honorable, let them all go. He didn't. So, there's this whole lot of stuff. People try too hard to be cool around this. My thing is, believe what you're going to believe. But that ain't a better move. And in many ways, it's a worse move. And in fact, Mali collapsed and all those Sahelian kingdoms collapsed because these folks made so many kids, all the kings made so many babies, and everybody's killing each other. So those great kings of Africa had so many babies, so many boys. That's why their kingdoms didn't last, because everybody's fighting to be in charge. The Europeans, maybe they're on the soft side, but at least it was easy to get successorship. You got like 200-300 sons. Who's going to be king? How can you have stability? So I'm sorry. I don't get putting stuff on a pedestal that doesn't belong there.
Much love, great elder, Dr. Short. And see, I have to make sure I got to start calling you elder from now on, because you bringing that elder knowledge. And this is no disrespect to you, my elder. You are somebody that people should be listening to and closing their mouths. Everything that you're mentioning is just historical fact. And for the people who don't understand what historical means, that means it actually happened. And there's a lot of people that's running around here talking about stuff that didn't really actually happen, like these tethers, like these Nabiscos. We're not even going to get there. But I got to give a certified B1 salute to you, Dr. Randy, because every time I hear you bring in more scholarship on top of that scholarship, and then you'll go back and pull out another book and talk about some more scholarship. So I got to give you much love, Dr. Short. We got our brother Mikael in the building. What's up with you, family? How are you doing?
Greetings, brother Church. I'm doing excellent. Thank you. How are you? First time us greeting each other. You're doing an excellent job as a co-host. How are you?
I am wonderful, family. I am breathing, and I am blessed by being able to. So, that is the awesome part for me. But it's also awesome for me to be able to greet you for the first time. I've seen you in many spaces. Mm-hmm. I've never gotten to talk to you in this capacity. So much love to you and everything that you bring to the table as well, my brother.
Thank you, beloved. I'm deeply humbled. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Brother Black Alpha, the great one. Brother Cash, Miriam, Dr. Randy showed, Marcel, Brother Arthur, beautiful kings, queens, gods, goddesses, and oracles. Thank you. Brother Dr. Randy Short, let me build with you about the Islam thing. Okay. And of course, I'm in Africa. Let's start with the hadiths. None of them are true, meaning they don't come from the source of what Muslims, and by the way, that is my original faith. They are essentially as good as what a Muslim would call the Sunnah, which is also made up. We saw the Prophet do this, the Prophet said that. It's like the gospel. You're a Christian, so you know what the gospel is. Gossip. And the Quran should be the example for the Sunnah. Now, when I learned Islam as a child, I learned from the elders who were with Malcolm or who learned under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And you're correct. It was more don't bow to the Arab or anything. Could be a Pakistani, could be a Bangladeshi, could be an Indonesian, didn't matter. And we were taught to use strategy on them at a very young age. In fact, as a child Muslim, I did security at the masjid. And I remember one of the elders calling me to the side when I was late getting to the masjid. And he pulled me to the side. And he said, Mikhail, you see them brothers over there? And I looked at him. I said, yes. He said, they are the police. You are the CIA. They gave me the crown strategy, intelligence. And so the things that many of the Muslims that you would see, I was taught differently at a very young age. And that was to get through the bulletin, meaning know the difference between chicken and chicken salad. Supremacy was chicken. And you're correct. There is the propagation of something that goes beyond this black or white thing, which is really predicated on what we say, quote unquote, Allah or the source favoring them, is prevalent in making so-called Africans eunuchs, et cetera, and the African accepting it. But it didn't start there. Those so-called Muslims didn't come first. Christians and others came first. And as you know, they were battling constantly in that region we call Africa for supremacy. And you're completely right. Those Arab Egyptians, North Africans, the so-called Saudis and Yemens. And you know this, all of those lands were the lands of black, and that includes South Asia as well. And they collaborated with the ones in the area we will call Nigeria. You mentioned the Tuareg, but also there's the Meshresh and the Temahu, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that was the oldest, earliest form of collaboration, which, of course, transitioned into these melanated ones collaborating with all Arabs or the Indo-European or the Asiatic ones when it came to Christianity against their own brothers, or Islam when it came to their own brothers. So we were taught to not let them play you. They're going to get work. And we go from 0 to 60.
Yeah, Brother Mikhail. Oh, man.
Can you hear me good, family?
I can hear you clear, family.
All right. Let me go ahead and send a shout out real quick to Dr. Short for coming up here and holding it down and blessing us with so much knowledge and good game. And, you know, nothing keeps us down. And all we do is just jump right over all of that. So, Dr. Short, before you go, can you please bless everybody with a good statement on everything we talked about, since you are the creator of Tether and we are all witnessing Tether. Can you go ahead and let everybody know the way it's unfolding?
Where Tether is going to go is two directions. One will be inwardly. The people who are paid and allied with them, our traders within our community, are going to become more strident and more pronounced in their actions against us. There'll be more gaslighting and attacks, and there'll be more efforts to shame, and they're going to peg this around voting and elections, and Trump's the biggest racist of all times, and to me, hell, there's nobody more racist against black people than Obama. That's number one, that there will be an intensification of conflict in our community as agents of white supremacy. The Boule and Tethers began to try to get people to be Judas goats to get us to go into the butcher house of Kumbaya. And then the other side is that the forces of ICE and basically buyer's remorse about all these illegals will intensify. I suspect that there will probably be a Kent State type event wherein these people, because they're going to do stuff to threaten the lives and families of persons trying to uphold the immigration laws. I want to say to Sister Miriam, and I beg people, there's no such thing as an illegal immigrant. There are immigrants and there are illegal aliens, there are illegal migrants. They have no legal standing. An illegal migrant is like a person, it's a home invasion if they come into your house. If you have a key, that's possession. It means you're a resident or a renter. You have no right to be here, and that's just simple. That's part of the bullshit game that they play with semantics to confuse people, because once you say illegal immigrant, the immigrant implies that they have legal rights. It's unheard of. It's stupid. Everywhere in the world that's wrong, except for when they're trying to hurt freedmen. So I believe that there will be greater pressure. I believe more people will self-deport. I believe that there will be people who literally lash out, but ultimately have to leave. I believe there's going to be a greater intensification of investigating people who stole PPP money, people that are on SNAP, people that are getting Medicaid, Medicare that have no rights to it, people that are getting all kinds of benefits. You're going to begin to see people sift employees, county, municipal folks are going to lose their jobs, and law enforcement, people who are teaching and doing other things in which they needed to be a U.S. citizen, they're going to lose those positions. And you're going to see an increased Americanization of various sectors in the economy. And I do believe there will be a more pronounced thing again for people to look for allies. Beware of black pastors. Beware of preachers. Beware of the evangelists. Beware of people who want a big audience of people that want to see a man in the dress sweating salt into it, talking bullshit. Do not trust anybody that tries to get you, based on your religious beliefs, to justify people replacing us. There will be more pressure. However, that will not stop. The Trump people are serious. They want 1 million people deported. They want more, and they should get them. And their success, the trajectory of success of the cleansing of America of illegals, will be greatly aided when black people buy into the fact that this is our country and it's ours and only that of other citizens of the United States. And I would ask that people pray for the 14th Amendment, and all of those things only apply to us. So as we intensify our delineation, we will gain in power and influence that hasn't been seen in decades. And so on behalf of the Angry Black Men's Book Club and SALT Ministry, when I'm being spiritual, and I believe in God, but sometimes you have to talk the real people's talk. I thank you, Brother Black Alpha and the church brother and all the other people. This has been good. We can make it to the promised land. It's within our grasp. Even in the Bible, the trip from Egypt to Canaan was just 7 days. They were a week away from everything that was theirs. The issue had to be worked out, that their boomer generation had to fade into the background for a generation of fighters that could go into the promised land. So it's time to go over the Jordan. Stop waiting. And let me get off here so y'all can get some sleep. God bless y'all. Thank you. I hope I said something that made sense. We need to start helping and loving each other, respecting each other. We need brotherhood. We need sisterhood, and not folks being studs enslaving each other. Our young black people and our older black people being abused in assisted living, we could treat each other better Stop complaining about what people don't do and think about what we can do for each other, not against anybody else, but for our collective uplift. You know, generations unborn are counting on us to succeed. Be a freedman. Find something that is useful, that will help people: farming, gardening, dressmaking, product making, boycotting, networking. Do everything you can to build a collective of serious, positive people, and find something for real that you bet that you can give time and energy to. Brother Arthur needs you. Black Alpha needs you. There are people. I don't have a group yet. Support the freedmen. Find people doing stuff and get behind them. Help them. Give to Brother Arthur and the freedmen. We can. If you're a coward, write checks. That's what folks who don't want to get involved. They give. Tell other people about it. And like this, like Brother Black Alpha, I'm going to say this one thing about black folks. I've been doing this for a while. We always have to ask people to like and subscribe. No matter how good our stuff is, we have to ask. We should know how to just do things for each other, for friends. When Black Alpha come, I just do it. Sure, I don't say, oh, I need $100. We need to stop asking. Everything isn't done for money. Stop acting like prostitutes and start acting like family. Do some things because they matter. Do it because it's right. Don't get used, but don't get tired of being useful to good things. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Always much respect. Appreciate you, Dr. Short. And I want everybody to remember what our brother just said, and I want everybody to soak it up. That's game right there. And the game is to be sold, not to be told, but y'all just got it told to you. So you got to go ahead and understand that and keep it right close to you. Let's continue to go through the hands, family. Shout out to our good Dr. Randy Short. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to the whole family. But we can spin the hands. As a matter of fact, I'll let Church go, and I want to get back to Michael, my good brother Twizzle. I see you. We're going to go through everybody. But Church, you can go ahead and set it off, my brother.
Much love to you, family. And I want to make sure everybody understands, when we have our elders on the stage and we give them leeway to actually bring that knowledge in, whenever we're on these type of spaces, you got to notice who they attack, who they start targeting, who they start messing with the spaces on. They only do that because we're really cooking. I tell people all the time when they say we should do A, B, and C, or we should do EFG or whatever, when we're moving in the direction we need to move, why should we derail the train? This is nothing but X trying to derail our train because we're sitting here cooking. We're sitting here speaking about things that actually matter to our community, and not just to our community, but to the whole of our country. And I feel this 100% fold that, yeah, they don't want us doing this. The same way that TikTok, yeah, they don't want us doing this. The same way that Instagram sit there and say, oh, we're neutral, but then turn around and show you they don't want you doing it either. Family, this is a situation that should show you that we're on the right path. We're moving in the right direction. And the direction that we're moving in is towards reparations. It's toward Black liberation. It's toward making sure nobody can come in and do nothing but get participation. No, we're not doing any of that. We're on a whole new sound wave. We're on a whole new frequency, as the people in the concert community loves to say. Go ahead, my brother.
Shout out to the room, everybody, on this Saturday. Shout out to you, Black Alpha. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Shout out to you, Church. Hey, what's up? Dr. Short, I see you down there, young man. How you doing? Just want to let you know your young soldier is in here for you. You know what I'm saying? He may have dropped out, but, you know, this is recording. Your soldier is in here. You understand? I just came to say what's up and shout out to you with this nice space and the title of the room, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, these tethers is feeling the heat. And I ain't talking about that Nigerian musty ass place where it coming from, where it's so goddamn humid. It smell like a fucking stuffed up toilet in a coliseum somewhere. You understand me? We making progress. And one thing about progress is you can slow it down, but you can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really getting tired of these coons, these bad ones, and these scared people keep telling us what we can't do. You know, just tell them like this. They said we would never be free. They said we would never be able to learn how to read and write. They said we would never be able to marry. They said we would never be able to own homes. They said we would never be able to pass civil rights. And they said we would never be able to do all this. And what have we done? We proved everybody wrong. So what kind of people would we be and what kind of idiots would we be to give up on this reparations fight that we're having right now? We done made more progress that we have made in fucking 60 years. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what these people talking about. And we don't need everybody. We need the people with ideas. We need the people with solutions. And we need some people with some heart and some balls and brains to make this shit happen. You know, I'm really getting tired of this shit. Everybody on here complaining and what if this, what if that. Well, next, scared man can't win. And if you're scared, go to church. You know what I'm saying? We all know you ain't gonna get nothing unless you're willing to take a chance. And last I looked, we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't take chances. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the scared talk. If you're scared, sit your ass in the background and let the thinkers and the smart people come up with solutions, because that's the only thing that gets shit done. And I want to give a shout out to my brother Darren on this app because he said one thing: men don't complain about problems, we fix them. And that's what time it is. So shout out to the room, shout out to everybody, man. You know, and I know I came in late, so I just want to say, hey, I'm here, you know, and just let me know what I need to do and it's done, because I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna fix it. Hey, Black Native, I see you, Queen. Shout out to y'all, Pete.
Hey, Brother Twizzle, if you scared, say you're scared. Goody mob.
If
I
you're
gotta
scared, go
say,
to church. If you're scared, go to church, and that's only on Sunday. So I don't know what you're gonna do for the rest of the 6 days. You know what I'm saying?
and if
On the
you're
real.
scared, don't come to the Church of Black Empowerment because you're gonna lose your stuff over here. Just saying. Much love to our brother Twizzle all dang day. We gonna go to our sister Miriam next, and then we'll get to Cash, and we'll pull it back over here to myself and then my brother Black Alpha, so we can close it out.
Indeed, family. Roll call. East Saint, Illinois in the house. Again, much love and respect to you, Brother Black Alpha, Sister Queen Alpha, Brother Black Church, you know, to all the family that came through, especially Dr. Randy Short, that beautiful, intelligent brother right there who always dropped scholarship and love. Um, you know, Brother Marcel is in the background quietly. He is such a strong soldier. He sits in and he listens, and if he needs to tap in and put it down and wrestle the demon on down to the ground, he'll put in that work. But you know, I mean, I just love our FBA family. What more is there to say? Our sister, beautiful sister Angelica, Elena was in here earlier. Shout out to you, beloved. Love you, Sister Nikki, the God, love you, all our family and you know friends and just our brethren in here, brother Eastsider. Like I say, roll call. It's an FBA thing. You can feel it in your soul. It just make you want to sing it. You know. To Tether Gideon, like I'm a Gideon, but Tether Gideon. Indeed, it is here, and as our brother Dr. Randy Short dropped. Um, the last of what he was saying was so eloquently and well put. I agree wholeheartedly with just about everything that he um, said because it's logical, it makes sense, and if we keep plowing away at it and doing what we're doing, it will move steadily and move, of course. And of course, our main objective is liberation, not only delineation, liberations, reparations, protections, and strengthening and rebuilding our nation. So calling all arms, meaning all boots on the ground, meaning we need all our people with all aspects of educations and skills, meaning that if your son or daughter don't know how to use a hammer and know how to measure, you need to get the teaching. We need to know how to fix these cards. We need to know what brick masonry is. We need to know what carpentry is. We need to know what HVAC heating and cooling is. We need to know what engineering is, because those are the things that make you sustainable, and that is what a nation is. The one who builds it, the one who dreams it, the one who creates it, okay? Not just the one who sustains it. You could put fuel or coal in any furnace and make it burn, although that's an old terminology, but it still rings true today. Or you could give a mule a little bit of grain and water and it will work, but of course they stubborn and they shut down when they want to. But y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. Each one teach one, and we must always guide and protect our lineage. That's the most precious thing because that's the existence of who we are as a people, and we're going to keep pushing forward and doing what we need to do. Um, Throughout our nation, and helping out with brothers and sisters. Don't be afraid to pick up a phone, text, or each one reach somebody who who knows. If a brother or sister is missing too long, just checking in. We have to do our wellness checks on each other because you never know what goes on out here and what hard times may fall and beseech on a brother or a sister. So we keep that in mind as well, and always push our education, which is your researching and doing your degrees, your scholarship, reading your books, because it's nothing like reading a book. It's authentic. I know people like Kindle or reading online. No, I like the real deal. I love how a book smells, how it sounds. Just hearing the pages ruffle. I just love books. I crush them. So that's what I do. But peace and love to the family. Great space. Great topic as always. Always epic. Always one for the archives. And keep teaching and doing what you do, brother. Number one activist. Signing out. Your sister in arms. Peace.
Our brother Mikael must have been cut again because I brought him back up here so he could finish what he had to say. I don't know what's going on. But we can get to our brother Cash G, and then our brother Twizzle got his hand up. I know he got something quick to say, so we'll go back to him before he gets back to me. So go ahead, family.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if y'all check on my page, I only post about reparations cash payouts and calculations surrounding them. So y'all could take a look. I don't know if people know that the Tuskegee survivors got paid reparations, that people in Rosewood, just outside of Gainesville, got paid cash payout reparations. Evanston, Rondo, just outside St. Paul, so on and so forth. I just wanted to shout out those who are receiving their recompense in modern day. For those who think that it's something that we're talking about, that's not a possibility. Peace and reparations to all those that's owed.
Much love to you, brother Twizzle. It's on you, fam.
Yeah, I just want to say this, and this just Twizzle thinking out loud, and this is not pertaining towards nobody in here and everything. But this is me because, I'm on the West Coast in the Bay Area. And I had a lady friend to move to Florida. And she was begging me to move to Florida because she said, where do you have to go on the West Coast? And when she told me that, it hit me like a kick in the balls. Because where do we have to go on the West Coast? In the Bay Area, the only black population is like the majority black. It's the Bay Area, LA, and we're gaining ground in Vegas. And outside of that, we got to go all the way to Texas, to Houston. You know what I'm saying? We kind of like isolated out here on the West Coast. And right now we are being depleted because they are showing favor towards these immigrants. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Black and a few other people said California is dead. California is falling. And I look around me. I was telling my little sister today when I was driving, because I had just got my truck out the shop, and I took the streets. And when I took the streets, it was a Mexican on every fucking corner making tacos, quesadillas, burritos, selling that muchata. They had one on every fucking corner for a 5-mile radius. You know what I'm saying? But when we try to do, we get pulled up on by police, we get pulled up on by the health inspectors. We can't have nothing for a week before we get smashed on. So I'm at a point right now, man, to where it ain't about running. It's all about regrouping. And I really feel like a lot of us on the West Coast, we really need to go back down south. And as I was doing my southern research, we need to take over that Delta. We need to go back and take over that Mississippi Delta from Alabama all the way to Tampa Bay, Florida, and take that over. We missed a prime opportunity with Atlanta. We blew Atlanta with, with the glitz and the glamour, and we let Atlanta become a foolish paradise instead of let that be a groundhold and a foothold for everybody to come to and spread out. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to make the same mistake twice. I really think a lot of us really need to repatriate the South. And one, we need to repatriate that Mississippi Delta because it has that water area and it has all that land, that vast area. And all they need is just a little Black American TLC that's been neglected because one thing for sure, two things for certain. We have power. We have a power that a lot of us fail to realize we have. But once we come together, the whole world pay attention to what we do. You know what I'm saying? I never forget when I was doing my research on the IRA, the Irish Republican Army. Before they started, they had their little civil rights march. And when I watched it, I couldn't tell the difference between that and what they was doing down there in Selma, Alabama. You know, and they said that they copied their civil rights march off the Black Americans when they were fighting for their freedom. The whole world watch what we do and pay attention to what we do. So all I just want to say is, ladies and gentlemen, it's really time for us to really regroup so we can come together and come with a plan. I know everybody's not going to be willing to, but that's one thing, as the old saying goes, when we was young playing kids, what they say, follow the leader. It's going to take a few of us to do it, and it's going to take a few of us to create that spark. And just like California created a wildfire, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's our only solution, because we are in a position right now to where we are outmanned, we are out, and we are being out tethered. You know what I'm saying? We are being out tethered. So how we are in here doing our lineage, you know, retracing our ancestry, retracing our families like that. We need to retrace our family, like where our family was in the South, like what part. I know my family is Arkansas and Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I would love to move to that Mississippi Delta, build me a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, some 1,500 square foot, and with a nice boat out there, and just revitalize that shit, upgrade that shit, you know, put a modern touch to this shit, because ain't nobody putting no money into it, ain't nobody putting no tender love and care down there, and not only that, ain't nobody modernizing it. It's still looking like in the 1960s. Well, hey, I think it's time for us from the East and the West Coast to go down there and let our brothers and sisters know we ain't forgot about them, and we got their back, and let them know we finna put a looking battery in their back and show them what real power is. I'm sorry, y'all, for ranting, but that's just how I feel, you know. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's something I'm working on with this real estate shit. I'm gonna buy me some property down south, you know, retirement home, because I'm leaving California. I'll be goddamn if I be the last rose in the concrete out here where I'm surrounded by a bunch of tortillas and hat dancing and tacos and burritos, and you know. I
Twizzle,
land my
my
plane,
brother.
man.
Twizzle, my brother. As your fellow Californian, from Watts all the way up to the Bay where they go dum, 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 before you leave. And this is also somebody who's moved from California over to Missouri City, which is right around the way from Houston, Texas.
Shout out to Watts. Where you from in Watts?
Jordan Downs family all day.
Okay. So you PJ Dub?
No, that's a whole different scenario for me. But
Okay, go ahead.
all my family's from the G Street and Watts. So let's put it
Grape
like
Street,
that.
yeah, Grape Street.
Yes, but I want to say this to you, because I love what you're saying, but I also want to just give you just a tidbit of information before anybody. And I just literally started looking into this, so I didn't have this information when I was there, or else I would have started this. I would say, before you move, make sure you file a discrimination lawsuit against California. And this goes for anybody living in the sanctuary city. If you're living in the sanctuary city and you want to move out of that sanctuary city, that's understandable. Please make sure you file a discrimination lawsuit against that city and state. Because here's the thing. The Constitution says that these states don't have to follow or enforce federal law, which is the truth. And this is how sanctuary cities are born. The problem now comes in. It's not illegal to have sanctuary cities, but you know what is illegal? Discrimination. We don't have anywhere around the globe that we can go that's a sanctuary. That is a violation of the equal protection rights under the law. You cannot sit here and allow invaders, illegal invaders, to not have a license but pull over somebody with a license. You cannot sit here and give housing, food stamps, thousands of dollars of walking change, just all pocket change, and not do it for your native citizens. That is discrimination under the law. Before you go, make sure you put this into effect if you can. As many people as possible. If we can get a class action lawsuit in each and every one of these states, guess what? I guarantee you Donald Trump is going to see that, and he's going to look at that as another way to have a one-up on the Democrats.
You are 100% correct.
You see what I'm saying? I see all the blacks out there, and they're not liking these sanctuary cities.
Church,
They're
let me ask you this
discriminatory.
When you
Go ahead,
moved, when you moved out of California, did they still try to tax you while you was gone?
Absolutely. I get taxed because of the fact that I came out here to go to college. So I was considered as an out-of-state college student. So I get taxed on that, and I get taxed on the back end as well.
You know, California passed a law when they had the great migration with people, when they had the great exodus when people were leaving they passed a law saying if you move from California, you have to pay a leaving tax. And not only that, you have to pay your California taxes the whole year while you're gone.
Absolutely.
Ain't that some bullshit?
And this is one of the reasons
Fucking
why
Gavin
I feel
Newsom,
that.
man.
Yeah, and this is not just that, but you look at the whole situation, that the laws that they made for the, the PDF, saying that if if the child is over, I think it was like 12, 13 years old, that they don't need parental consent. There's a lot of stuff going on in California. But my biggest thing is that if we can get enough people together and put a highlight, because we all know as California goes, so does the nation. If we can shut it down in one state, then I guarantee you it's going to be a domino effect, state to state to state to state. And my brother Twizzle, I'm going to need you to go ahead and hit me in my DM, pause, so that we can continue this conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and let you have the last say, and then I'm going to pass it over to our brother Black Alpha.
I'm pretty much done. Go ahead, Black Alpha, and shout out to the room, man.
Man, shout out to y'all brothers, man, all the way. I love the West Coast, man. I love the West Coast. Let me say this about California. California, in a lot of ways, is a reflection of foundational Black American lineage. What do I mean by that? Is by the fact that we do more with less as foundational Black Americans, okay? There's I believe, about 50 to 60 million of us, however. But do you see the impact in which we have with 50 to 60 million of us? People who have far greater populations, they miles behind us. That's what California is. California, with the population in Cali, I'll be honest with you, just let y'all know from somebody who's from the Midwest and the South, people think California got crazy numbers of Black people because y'all culture is so damn strong. When we see the culture that's being broadcasted from California, the whole world thinks about Black Americans. And ain't that the same exact way how the whole world think about Black Americans when it comes to the USA? California is a reflection of foundational Black Americans, man. Y'all can take 5 of y'all and y'all gonna outclass the whole damn state and all the other people out there. When you think about California, think about the songs. Think about the song California Love. Fam, I've been in the UK and they was playing California Love, knew all the damn lyrics. Okay? They was in there talking about Inglewood always up to no good in the damn British accent. You understand what I'm saying? They know that. That's all California. Even when Katy Perry made her little California Girl song, who she had to go get on that? Snoop. Snoop Dogg is the biggest celebrity on the planet. If Snoop Dogg walked down the street right now with the Pope, everybody's going to say, who is that person standing next to Snoop? Big talk. That is the difference. So California, y'all been holding it down. Everybody know that's real. Everybody, let Snoop and the Pope walk down the street and everybody's going to say, who that white man standing next to Snoop Doggy Dogg? I remember when he was Snoop Doggy Dogg. Whoever thought, all my people in here, all my 80s babies, and you got 70s babies in here, you know, some of y'all 90s folks. I remember when Snoopy the dog was bigger than Snoop Dogg. You go show a kid right now, Snoopy the dog, and then Snoop Dogg, they're going to say, who that little fucking cartoon? See, I don't remember a time where anybody's ever outclassed us. It's always been us. We lived to see Snoop Dogg. I remember they were trying to lock Snoop up. I remember that. Who would have thought now? Snoop coming out with the goddamn Olympic torch. You feel me? And that's California. That'll go back to Cali. So to you guys' point is they out there trying to do all that, you know, nonsense and shenanigans to my brothers and sisters out in Cali, man. But y'all stay holding it down. Y'all stay winning. I mean, look at Drake right now. Drake got shut down by Kendrick Lamar, California again. You know what I'm saying? Who's the biggest rapper in the world right now? is Kendrick Lamar. I just seen the footage my brother sent me of Kendrick over in Europe, and that shit look like Woodstock. I don't know if y'all seen it. If y'all ain't seen it, type that in. It's insane. It's insane. And it's Kendrick Lamar. And this dude is quiet. I asked everybody, what was the last interview y'all seen Kendrick Lamar do? What was the last interview? The man don't talk. He don't speak, and then he still got that kind of power. West Coast. Shut down Drake, the whole machine, West Coast. Okay?
Oh, real quick, Black Alpha, Kendrick Lamar just broke the record for the most sold tickets in Canada in his concert, right?
I'll be damned. I'll be damned. He on a generational run right now. This is generational. He on a generational run. Straight up. And that's how California be. Cali would just be doing California things and then pop out and boom. You know what I'm saying? And just run shit. That's what Kendrick's doing. He's on a generational run. He quiet. He's selling out tickets in Drake's hood, or shall I say in Drake's suburbs. You know what I'm saying? He's selling it out all across the planet. Cali's so powerful, man. If you really want to look at this reparations movement with a lot of these task force, those task force was really getting popping off in California first. Okay, I went to the one in Fulton County out here in GA. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, in my speech, I started talking about how we in solidarity with my brothers and sisters in California and New York, and I was keeping it real FDA lineage and stuff. I know a lot of folks be out here trying to region bang. They want a regional fight real bad, but we ain't giving it to them. You know what I'm saying? But I shout out California, man, and I know all that they be trying to pull on Cali, but, you know, I got to give a lot of love to the West Coast, man. I always enjoy my time when I go out there. I love the brothers and sisters that, you know, tap in. A lot of people don't understand that in the American population, 80% of Americans, human beings, okay, 80% of people live east of the Kansas City. Okay, which means there's only 20% out there. And California be really holding it down and doing their thing with less numbers. So I got a lot of love for Cali, and I appreciate everything that my brothers and sisters doing. Let's be real. California is the reason why Kamala Harris got canceled, because it was our brothers and sisters in Cali that gave us the heads up about how bad she is. You know what I'm saying? If we want to run down things, California, they kind of keep it to yourselves. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm talking to two California brothers right now, so I can't say they. I'm talking to y'all, my California bros. Y'all keep a lot of victories to yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't really be out there telling the world all about it and shit. But y'all know Black Alpha, I'm loud and proud, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to give y'all flowers. Y'all was the ones like, yo, she ain't shit. Kamala Harris was locking up black people. Kamala Harris is dirt. Matter of fact, I spoke to the lady that Kamala Harris locked up her for truancy. I spoke to her, California, and she gave me game. So y'all really told us about how dirt Kamala was, and that's why she never really got traction with the black community. Much respect. If she listened, a certified salute, good sister. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And that's the whole name of the game. That's the thing. Y'all give us a lot of game about what's going on. So when these people try to come out from the West Coast and be trying to hide their backgrounds, y'all be like, stay away from them. That California Coon Caucus, when they try to create the bill, to destroy the bill, y'all was out there running up on them people, letting it be known. So continue to hold down California, man. And even if y'all do come down here to the South, let's connect and let's keep all of our flags planted all over the world. I'm of the essence of, even if we go places, we just got to plant our flag. You know what I'm saying? We got to plant our flags everywhere we go. I know my sister Miriam up there in Illinois. I know my brother Church. I know you in Texas. I see my brothers and sisters all throughout the whole United States. We plant our flags wherever we go, and you rep your turf and you put work on they block. So that's the beauty, because we've been connecting for a long time. I know my brother Marcel was just in here a minute ago, and me and Marcel always been telling everybody that we got to hold down the front. If you really want to go there, the two biggest activists in Black America in the South are me and Marcel Dix. We the two biggest ones. Nobody's bigger than me or Marcel. Like, we the ones out here, and we've been holding down the South. Me and Marcel done went to places where there ain't no in the whole spot, and it's just me and Marcel. When I went to Fulton County, I was letting them know. I said FBA South got something to say, because I know they've been trying to take the South away. So I support my brothers and sisters who do come down here, that are from the East Coast, that are from the West Coast, from the Midwest. Just y'all make sure that y'all make that flag wave where y'all at, so when we come out there, we can still connect, so we don't head out and there's nowhere for us to go. It's all about connecting, fam. That's the beautiful thing about this lineage. And what I realized, it ain't about where you from, it's how you come. It's about how you hold it down. So I got a lot of love for NYC, all my brothers and sisters up there. Y'all continue to put in work, going to them task force, running them tethers out the damn paint. Shout out to New York. I'll see y'all when I touch down. Shout out to California when I go on back out there. I love the way y'all be holding it down. I just love Black American culture. I love Black American culture all the way across. I like the different styles. I like the different accents. I heard my sister Miriam, she put a couple URs in her word earlier, you know what I'm saying? A couple of hers and theirs, you know what I'm saying? I like that. That's what I'm talking about. I love how my brothers and sisters in Louisiana talk. Y'all know how it is. It's all gravy, baby. I love that shit. I love how my brothers and sisters in Memphis talk. Georgia, it don't matter, y'all. We all got different styles and different flavors. So shout out to you no matter where you at. If you a foundational Black American, hold it down. I've been to Kansas before. And a lot of them brothers and sisters in Kansas is about that for life because a lot of them is from Louisiana and Mississippi. Man, Black Americans show you a lot of love when you pull up. Since we talking about the West Coast, let me shout out Nate Dogg. Quizzle, you in the building. You remember the song Where I Want to Be, right? With Nate Dogg and Shay Shice?
Right here with my loved ones,
My nigga.
smoking on some weed.
If you
If
got
you
chronic,
you
won't
can
you light it up?
Yes,
Shout out to
indeed.
Nate Dogg, but not his son. Not his son at all. Shout out to Nate Dogg, though, all day.
My dog. Hey, y'all got me in here dancing. Boy, that's like the 5th song we had in the space. Y'all know how it is when you rock with Black Alpha. It's always going to be extra special. Yeah, y'all, if anybody in here right now, go listen to that song right now and listen to Nate Dogg's verse. The whole damn verse is about FBA pride. I'm telling y'all. He talking about traveling all across the country and getting love everywhere he go. He said when he went to New York, he thought they was going to be on some trouble, but they was about money. They rolled out the red carpet for him. I'm telling y'all, there's nothing more unified in Black America.
What did he say?
In that song.
If we all come together, we could take over this game and have this shit on lock.
Yes, the hell he did. My brother, no, absolutely. Shout out to everybody in here. Arthur, I see you. Keep giving them that work. Rose City, you already know. You already feel me. Texas in the place, y'all. We celebrate our victories and we are victorious. We celebrate our wins and we winning. We celebrate, being great and we're the greatest. So when you just look at it, family, we got to have these situations where we get together and we boss up on everybody because there's a million folks out here who gonna hate on foundational Black Americans and they just hating and ain't nobody paying them no attention, okay? Let me tell you this. If being a broke was a job, these tethers would always be at work. And foundational Black Americans, we off today. So certified salute to y'all. Y'all stay good. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay vigilant. Appreciate the love and respect. Make sure y'all subscribe to my brother Church of Black Power YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Black Alpha Network and make sure you follow anybody who's in the space who has some good game that you like. Shout out to Dr. Randy Short. Appreciate you. You guys follow Dr. Randy Short as well. I'm gonna let y'all beautiful Black American men and women enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Stay safe, man. You rocking with the #1 activist on the mother planet. He is I and I am him. And I'm sending y'all certified salute. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Good night, everybody.